In today's episode, I'm going to teach you how to day trade using Robinhood Legend. This episode will be a full platform demo where I'll walk you through my settings and how I optimize Robinhood Legend for day trading. And at the end of this episode, I will give it a Ross score, which will determine whether or not I would use this software for real money for the strategy that I trade every single day. My name is Ross Cameron. I'm a full-time trader, and in case you didn't know, I turned a small account with less than $600 into more than $10 million of verified and independently audited trading profits. I'm not saying that because I want you to assume that my results are typical, because they are not, but I want you to understand that I've been in the market for a long time. In fact, I funded my first account in 2001. So I've used so many different platforms. I have a really good sense of what I need in trading software in order to extract profit from the market consistently. So I'm kind of in a unique position where I can really share some insight as I review these different platforms and I think share with you whether or not these are really viable for trading the way I like to day trade. And I'm of course a momentum trader. So I'm trading things that are moving fast. All right, so we're looking at Robinhood Legend right here front and center. This is the software, and you know what? It looks great. Visually, look at this. It's fantastic. I mean, for those of you who have tuned into some of my other platform demos, just the charts by themselves are really nice. I mean, some of these platforms that we've used, the charts, I mean, you can hardly move them around. This is TradeStation. These charts, they're really basic. It's not easy to kind of navigate them. Fidelity is even worse. I mean, so Robinhood has done a good job with the charting. But let's take a step back and start at the beginning here. So I'm going to pull up a slide deck for Robinhood. All right, so the first thing that I'll observe with Robinhood is that the platform is fun. When you set up your account, you get these, cool little graphics, instant deposit available. So this was kind of cool. I funded the account with $26,000 so I could day trade in it, right? That makes sense. You need $25,000 minimum because they enforce the pattern day trader rule on margin accounts. On a cash account, you could put in $500 and you could day trade with it. But once you take $500 worth of trades, you've got to wait till all those trades settle, which takes place overnight. It's called T1 settlement. So then you could trade that same amount of money the next day. But when you fund your account, they gave me instant access to up to $5,000, which was nice because the ACH deposit did take almost a week before it settled. So I was able to kind of get set up and take a few trades with small share size just to sort of test the water. So I thought that was nice. Now, when I first got set up here, and this is what most people will do, I did a link between my bank account for that ACH transfer. You can do direct deposit. You could do, of course, wire transfers. There's different ways you could fund your account. But for me, it was just easier to set up this direct link. But even in spite of that, it still took a little bit of time to get it going. So now the old web platform is kind of interesting. And I'm going to jump out of this here and just show you what that looks like. So prior to launching Robinhood Legend, you had sort of two options for trading on Robinhood. The first was to pull up, originally, Robinhood didn't even have anything on the web. It was just a mobile app. Now I got to look at it with my face. So we had the mobile app right here. So on the mobile app on Robinhood, this is of course what people have been using for a long time. So during the GameStop big move and everything else, people were using Robinhood. So and it was on a mobile app. So let's just pull up a stock, CDT. All right, so we're going to pull up CDT Pharmaceuticals. This stock right now is up 82% today. So if I wanted to trade this and I wanted to really get dialed in, I could just click the buy button right here. So I click the buy button there. I choose, $20 and I could review, but I could also change that to buy in shares. So I could say, I want to buy, 20 shares, whatever, review. And then just like that, boom, swipe up to submit, you could place an order. So the order gets sent, right? So this is how a lot of people were trading right on Robinhood. Now, if you click this little arrow right here, that little arrow is going to bring up the level 2, which is really nice. So on your mobile app, you actually have level 2 for these, for the stocks that you're looking at. So you can see the bid on the left, the ask on the right. So the mobile app is what most people probably use Robinhood for, but I was specifically asked to do a platform demo of Robinhood Legend. And this is not Robinhood Legend, this is Robinhood the mobile app. Now, by the way, as I was editing this video, I was thinking that some of you may be interested in learning more about my day trading strategy. So I'm gonna put a link, it'll be pinned at the top of the comments and in the top of the description, where you can download my small account worksheet. It's a PDF that's gonna walk you through my process of how I build small accounts, beginning with, of course, risk management, stock selection, my 5 pillars for choosing the strongest stocks to trade each day, and then the entry setups that I use in order to minimize my risk while maximizing my upside profit. So make sure you guys check out that PDF resource. You can implement it in your own trading starting today, and I think it'll really help you. Okay, so with that, let's get back on to the desktop and start looking at Robinhood Legend. Well, before we do that, let's just look at the website. So they essentially mimic the functionality of the mobile app on the website. So if we pull up CDT, which I'm now holding a 20 share position on, we pull up CDT right here, and you could see, of course, the stock. You can go to advanced right here. You can start to get into the details of it. You could pull up the order book right here. So that's under level 2. So you get to add the order book. So you can have your level 2 on this. You can see the charts. You could, of course, manipulate them, change them. You don't want to do a line chart. You want to switch it to a candlestick. You could change all that stuff around as you'd like. So this is kind of what most people were using on the computer if they were trying to, trying to day trade, any ordinary stock. And then they launched Robinhood Legend. So this is the Robinhood Legend platform as we sit right now. So you could see I've already got my one position of 20 shares. So let's say, so I just put the chart front and center, just kind of because I thought that was sort of the most intuitive way to set this up. You can see the order that filled right here for CDT. You can see my position. It's showing I'm holding 20 shares, average cost of $2.84. I'm up 70 cents, whatever. That's the last price. That's my P&L open one day. That's the P&L percentage in one day. That's the market value. So the first thing that I did when I got logged in here is I was like, all right, I got to kind of situate and get this sort of organized the way I like it. So I started, let's see. So the first thing I did, let me just, oh yeah, that's full screen. So the first thing I did was I went to add widget, and I was like, I'm going to want to add my recent order window, right? So I want my recent orders, and where should I put that? So I was like, I'm going to kind of set this up here. Maybe I'll put it up here. Maybe I'll put it up here. So I kind of got that dialed in, and I ended up putting my recent orders right over here. So they're right there. Now you could drag and drop this, although you could see it's a little, it's like a little clunky. It doesn't let you drag and drop. It's sort of like a grid in a way, which is okay, I suppose. I'm going to be a little nitpicky here, but to me, it's kind of, it's almost like Tetris. It's like, this is like sort of silly, the way you sort of move this around. So if I was going to give a critique of sort of how to navigate this platform in this way, I would say personally, Webull is much easier to navigate. You could click and drag the window, and then you can say, I want it right here, and I want to tab it, or I want it here, or here, or here, or here. This functionality is great. Or you could have it pop out entirely. So I prefer the Webull platform for that UX of the way you can move windows around. But anyways, it'll probably get better in time. So, and then you see sort of the way you sort of have to adjust these. Like, it's just kind of a little bit bizarre. Now, you can customize your columns. So you could say, you know what, I don't need to see the bid and the ask. So I took those ones off. There's some others that I took off. But you could add columns if they were specifically relevant for you. If you were trading options and you need to see the strike price or whatever, you could do that. So could take off the mark, could take off the last. I don't really need to see market value personally. I don't need to see the percentage. This is usually just pretty much the way I do it. So open P&L, and then usually I have another line for closed P&L. So we'll leave that right now, just for the time being. And let me just show you a couple different things. So this is how I usually have my platform set up, is that I have my positions window in the top left corner. So this is kind of what my eye naturally is gravitating towards is, all right, gotta check my position. This is where I look. So top left corner. So I kind of make it a little bit smaller so I can just sort of see what I need. Now this is my software right here that I use on a day-to-day basis for my primary account. So positions window, top corner, symbol, position size, average cost, open P&L, and then closed P&L. Now the closed P&L is helpful because I have zero position on these stocks right now, but I like to be able to see, of course, how much I made on them. Then I have active orders and then recent orders. And then we have my level 2 windows. And then for me, I use charting. I actually don't use charting in my broker because although my broker is great for order execution, the charts aren't that good. So I use Day Trade Dash right here for scanning and charting, right? So this is Day Trade Dash. So I use this for all my scanning and all my charting. And this is a good workflow for me. All right, so back on Robinhood Legend, as I was kind of setting this platform up, I was like, all right, so first things first, we're going to put our positions here. Then we put our recent orders here. And usually I kind of move this to be about the same size. So quantity and price, good. Cryptos to watch, don't need that. But you don't have to, it doesn't have to be cryptos. You could just change to stocks, Ross's watch list, like that. All right. So go like that, and then you could add a symbol and say CDT, we'll watch that one, and TNXP, this is another one that was up a bit today. And then that's fine, we'll just leave it at that for now. So you can have a couple stocks on watch. All right, so then the buying power, I could just kind of leave that down here for right now. I don't need that on a day-to-day basis. And then the charts, usually I put, if I'm gonna have it in the top corner, kind of like this. So make that a little bit smaller. And like I said, the charts are great. You've got 1 minute time frames, but you can also go down to a 30-second chart. So you can have fast time frames, which is great. You get that at Webull as well. And I will pull up a broker comparison sheet right here, by the way, where we're going to really rank, these platforms. I'm going to kind of go over their different features. So I'll go over that more in a moment. But the biggest issue right now is that as of today, if you go to add widget, you've got watch list, chart, positions, account summary, options chain, recent orders. That's it. You only have 6 widgets. We don't have a news feed. There's no news. You don't have level 2. There's no market depth. Now, at first I was like, there's got to be market depth. How could there not be, right? Maybe it's just you have to add it here as an indicator, right? So I'm like order book. Nope. Level 2. Nope. Market depth. No. So it's not on the level 2. See, the reason I thought maybe it would be is because on their web platform, you get to level 2 by sort of being on the chart and then clicking advanced. But unfortunately, right now, they have not yet added a level 2 window to Robinhood Legend. Okay, so that's a major problem because I need level 2 data. I need it to be able to trade. So that's our first major issue. All right, so we don't have level 2 data. So then, all right, so now we're just working off of a chart. So we've got a chart here, so we'll just go like this for now. This we'll just put down here for now, whatever. So at this point, this is becoming less of a platform for day trading and more of a platform for just quickly observing the positions that you might be holding. So now I say, well, I want to get out of this position. So what do? I could click on this right here, right? So I could set a limit order. Let's see, limit, and I could say sell, right? So if I want to get out, I could click sell right here. Or if I want to add, how do I add? I click the buy button right here, and then I could buy, 100 more shares or 10 more shares, doesn't matter. So you can see the order goes through there. See how it's working? So right now that order is working. The price just popped up just a little bit. So we're going to have to cancel the order. We're going to buy again. And this time, instead of a limit order, I'm going to do a market order so it's faster. So let's see how fast the execution is. Pretty instant. That went from 20 to 30 pretty fast. Let's do it again. Market 10. Pretty fast. Let's go ahead and let's just up this. Let's just do 2,500 shares. This might cost me a little bit of money, but I'll do it. Pretty fast, right? So now let's go and sell the full position. But now we got to type in. Every time we do this, we're having to type in the position size, 2,500 shares, da, 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 da. So now let's go market and let's click sell. So I'm all out. And how much am I up or down on the day? Well, I can look down here and see I'm down $79, but my position is not showing because I've now closed my position. So, for me, usually platforms will give you a chance to select filter to show 0 positions. That's what we typically would expect. And so unfortunately, that type of functionality does not appear to currently exist. So now we're sort of stuck with the fact that we have to sort of guess how much we're up or down on any particular stock. Now, if we pull up our broker comparison sheet here, we're going to start getting into it. So this is Robinhood right here. So currently, level 2 data is not available on Robinhood Legend. I'm sure it's going to come soon. I mean, how could it not? But it's not there yet. They also don't have hotkeys. There's no hotkeys. So as a result, of course, there's no hotkey offsets. There's no position selling by percentage of position. There's no halt levels. There's no resumption quotes. Well, you don't have level 2. We also don't have a news feed. I didn't even add this on here because everyone else has a news feed, but they don't have a news feed. So the desktop experience is poor, very limited features. So would I use this with real money? Robinhood Legend right now gets the lowest score of any platform that I've demoed. It is not something that I could use for day trading. It would simply not be possible. This was something that you guys requested that I do this platform demo. And so it's a pretty short one. There's not a lot to say. There's no level 2. There's no hotkeys. You can't move in and out of positions quickly. They don't publish their execution speed. It's not, we just saw those trades. Is it the slowest we've ever seen? No, probably not. But is it the fastest either? No, probably not. I'll just do a quick demo here. I'm going to just jump into this here. Boom, boom, just like that. Do you see how fast you blink and you missed it? That's how fast I just lost $50. But you could jump in and out of the market that fast. Instant executions. I'll do it one more time. So that was a little slow. You know what? I don't know actually. So that was a little bit slow. That was a little bit slow, which is unusual. I'll do it one more time just so you can see. All right, so boom, 5,000 shares. Now there's a buyer there. I'm going to go Control Z, out, the whole thing, gone. Instant. It's just so fast. And that's what I need. So I need software for my strategy where when I see a stock moving, I can get in quickly. So I, about a year ago, did a challenge. It was me versus one of my students. And he was using Thinkorswim and I was using my software. And we just set a challenge to see how we could do during the course of a month. And what was really interesting was that the stocks that had breaking news that popped up all of a sudden, like 8 a.m., start squeezing up, he wasn't able to trade. His routing was too slow. He wouldn't fill, he would just get partial fills on the orders. He wouldn't get filled the shares he wanted, and then it would just go without him, and he didn't want to chase it. Whereas me, because of the software that I'm using, I was able to get in quickly. And I'll say, it's not just the software, it's the broker as well. So the broker is what, of course, connects you. They're the intermediary between you and the market. So if the broker is slow in routing your order to the market, then you might miss a trade, and I can't afford to miss trades. So for me, getting in and out quickly is key for my strategy. So this is the software that I'm using, Lightspeed Trading. And I'll say, I don't have any affiliate relationship with them or with any of these other brokers. I have no affiliate relationships. I don't need an extra $50 if you guys sign up for an account. It doesn't matter to me. So I'm just giving you my honest opinion here of whether or not I could use these platforms for the strategy that I'm trading every single day. And an additional note is that they don't offer paper trading right now at Robinhood, which I think is kind of a bummer because they offer it at so many other places. So if I was comparing Robinhood to any of these other ones, they're all better. But a real good competitor that is a much better option for my strategy would be Webull. Webull, it's a 7.5 on my score. The only downside is that it's not a direct access broker, so your execution will not be as fast as the broker that I'm using, but it's commission free. Charles Schwab, using the Dash Trader software to have a better front end, that's a pretty good experience. So you do have a couple of options here that are still commission free, and then you start getting into the brokers that charge commission, and you get really fast execution, but you start paying the fees. Interactive brokers, unfortunately, this is a platform that could be as high as an 8, but they enforce Rule 144. Rule 144 states that anyone who is an affiliate of a company who sells more than 1% of the outstanding shares of the company or 1% of the average reported weekly volume it would have to file a disclosure. And so what Interactive Brokers does is they err on the side of caution and assume that everyone is an affiliate of the company. So if you try to sell more than 1% of the average volume of a stock over a 4-week period, they will block you from selling and you have to go through their compliance department and affirmatively say, I'm not an affiliate of this company. So the problem with that is that could take 45 minutes, it could take an hour, it could take 3 hours, and you're not able to sell your position. Now, of course, you're most likely not an affiliate of the company. So by the time you finally are able to sell, well, the stock could be at a very different price, and now you've gotten smoked. So even though Interactive Brokers could be an 8 using the Dash Trader platform, they're not viable either. So Thinkorswim, E-Trade, Interactive Brokers, they've got 3 different versions I looked at: Fidelity, Robinhood, and TradeStation. I haven't given them my raw score yet. But they're not bad. They're probably going to be in the range of 5, above 5. They'll be above a 5. I'll just give it a placeholder of a 5.5 for right now. It might go a little higher than that, but they're not bad. So this is where Robinhood Legend sits. All right, so if you want to check out a platform that might be a little bit better, I will give you a link. I'll post it right up here so you can check out my Webull platform demo, which I think you might enjoy, or my Charles Schwab using the Dash Trader platform. Check out that platform demo right there. I think you'd have a better experience with either of those 2 softwares. All right, now, if you want to learn more about my strategy that I trade every single day, check out the links in the description, and I'll see you for the next upload real soon.